Good morning, my darlings. Good chilly morning. It's like 51 degrees right now. It's actually lovely out here. I'm really enjoying it, although I do have long sleeves on and I do have socks on. So, it was so cozy the other night. Amy and I came out here and we cuddled up with blankets and we had the candles going and it was just so cozy. I guess it was kind of romantic too, if only it had been somebody other than Amy. But it was very nice and it was cozy and it was beautiful. We're not really meant to heat up that much today, but the worst of our current cold snap is over. It looks like it's only going to get down to about 44 tonight. Last night it got down to 34. My dad is up in the Panhandle and he got into the 20s. Of course, that's nothing because I know, like my friend up in Connecticut, she was at 5 degrees, something like that. So, I hope you guys all stayed really warm and are doing well, are doing very well. So we are wrapped around. It is the weekend again. My sister has a new car issue popped up this morning. I think we're going to have to get her a new car before the end of the year. So I think that's the next phase, is to make sure her credit is all buttoned up and start saving up for a down payment, because the car is starting to have so many problems. And I hate that. I hate that for all of us, because like I always say, our money is kind of pooled together. So it's like we all start to just think we're pulling out of the station and then whoop, right back. But it's all good, right? It's all good. So with all of that being said, wherever you are in the world today, I hope that you are feeling blessed, particularly blessed this week, this weekend, and in your life, and that you're seen and safe and loved. I don't know what more we could ask for. Well, obviously a roof over your head and food in your stomach. It's the weekend. It's the weekend, and I am actually recording this a little later than I've been recording these, because I had a very long meditation this morning. I'm really, this is kind of how I run my life, right? I do a bunch of research. I talk to people that I know that have insight. I talk to people that I know that know me. And then I go to my guides, and I'm like, okay, I have all of this data. Tell me what I should do. So what I have been, most recently, in my head, obviously, is YouTube. It's Sim Channel. It's Go Back to Disney. It's this channel. It's my income, moving it. It's in general, like, can I improve the situation for Ari and Amy and I? Because neither Ari nor Amy can make more money than they're making right now, but I have an option to make more money. So can I improve the situation for all three of us? And how hard am I willing to work for that? And, in general, it's not wise to set up a system you can't sustain. You have to be very mindful of that. But I am wondering if I could commit to a 6-month grind. I've just had 7 months to sit in my apartment and chill and relax and just enjoy the beauty of life, and I have enjoyed every second of it. So is the next season I'm going into, as I talked about last week, the winds of change, is this season a season of grind? The car repair coming up this morning, has made me look at things and wonder if I shouldn't just, I keep saying what I want is to move my income to YouTube, because I think there's more income potential there. I enjoy it more at this stage of my life, and I think that it better suits my lifestyle. But I haven't been doing it. I haven't been doing it. So I was really talking to my guides about that this morning, and about the possibility of starting literally a 6-month grind where I just work my butt off on YouTube, primarily starting a Disney channel again. And then I'm still talking through things with my sister on the Sim channel, but where it's going, I'm thinking also my Sim channel and my Disney channel. This channel is separate. This channel is it's just me connecting with you guys. I don't have any plans for this channel. I'm not going to plot this channel. It's always just going to be a very organic let's just chat kind of a thing. And after our 100 chats are over, oh, I didn't even say that. This is chat 16 of 100. But after our 100 chats are over, I don't know if I'll continue the daily chat thing, but I do think that I will just continue this channel as, you know, chats and vlogs, personal stuff, personal vlogs, personal chats, continuing on my carnivore journey, sharing the personal side of Disney, because on the Disney YouTube channel I would be more, you know, Disney vlogging. Although honestly, I want to innovate Disney vlogging. I want to bring something new to the table, something new to the Disney conversation. So I'm figuring that out, and probably the first 100 videos on that channel will be figuring that out. And that's exciting to me. And then the same thing on the Sim channel. If I go back to the Sim channel, if I do that, it'll probably be something I want to innovate that. You know, the Sim community is just in disarray right now, especially the Sim YouTube community. All of their big players have abdicated their thrones. And I think that that's left a lot of people scrambling, because not everybody feels the way they feel. And a lot of people do. A lot of people do. Not everybody does. So I'm noticing there's just a lot of people, moving parts and disillusionment, and people are frustrated with the game too, because it's got so much content on it now. You know, unless you have a super powerful computer. I have a gaming laptop and it plays everything just fine, but if you don't have that, you can't play everything that's out there. So there's a lot of issues, and they have a lot of glitches, and there's bugs in the game. So there's a lot of complaining going on. And while there's always a reason to complain in life, there's always a reason, I feel like what I tend to bring to the table, or at least what I would like to bring to the table, is the positive side of things. So I thought there might be a need for a voice like that currently in the Sim world. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about just doing Let's Plays with voiceover that sheds some positivity into the world. Focuses on the good parts of the game, focuses on the good parts of how much we love the game and playing the game. Those are my thoughts on all of that. Because, I mean, that's just the case right now in the world, especially like in my country. I'm in the United States, in case you didn't know, but I'm sure you could tell by my accent or lack thereof or whatever. You know, in my country right now, obviously, you know, there's a lot of division. Certainly in the media, there's a lot of division being shown. I don't think there's as much division as is being shown. But what is beautiful about that is every day I get the opportunity to practice compassion. And that, you know, honestly, compassion, it's a gift that you know, we all have the ability, but then I think it becomes a skill. You know, and I'm not talking about empathy, because I think empathy tends to be a little narcissistic, because I'm very empathic. I can feel other people's feelings, but it's very hard to pull the feelings apart. Okay, which ones are mine, which ones are yours? It's one of the reasons I wanted to live alone and just see, who am I in my own energy without anybody else's energy here? What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? How often do I struggle with anger, frustration, depression, any of those things, if it's just my energy? And that has been a really beautiful thing, to be able to just get to know me. That's been really wonderful. Because I think, like I said, empathy, I think it tends to get a little narcissistic, in that we're feeling all of these things. So when we see someone else exhibit those feelings, we filter that through how we would feel if we were in that place, how we would react if we were in that place. And we are all so different. And if you try to excuse someone's behavior or help someone from a place of, well, this is what I would want, doesn't tend to end up being very helpful. And to step outside of that is very difficult. You know, it's very difficult. So I think compassion separated from empathy is very powerful. And I think that right now we're really all being given an opportunity to practice compassion daily. And I think that it's a skill that we could all up level a little bit. I truly do. You know, in the spiritual community, they talk about the Christ consciousness all the time. You know, I grew up Christian, so I feel like I do have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Jesus is one of my best guides. I have felt him my entire life. My entire life, I have felt that presence in my life. And I think that that energy and that idea and what we know of how he lived, you know, I think, you know, Buddha and Gandhi, there are a lot of spiritual teachers that can show us the way, not to the extent necessarily that they live, because most of us are not called to that lifestyle, but just in embodying the acts of kindness, compassion, love, self-love. It's got to start with self-love, though. It really does. Because if you don't have love for yourself, you don't actually have love for anyone else. That's just the facts. It's not like I'm not trying to be harsh or critical of anyone, but that's just the facts. And I say that to myself. I've seen that a lot over the last few years, really starting to pick apart what does self-love actually mean. Because I think in society today, we have it conflated with have a spa day, you know, get your nails done, be loving to yourself, take yourself out for a nice meal. And that's not actually what self-love is. I think my understanding in this moment is, you know, self-love is grace. It's giving yourself grace. It's giving yourself compassion. It's accepting and acknowledging that you are not perfect, but that you are good enough exactly as you are, and that you're trying your best. You show up every day and you try your best, and that's good enough. And you protect yourself and you put up boundaries. Healthy boundaries is part of self-love. You know, and until you learn boundaries, in all honesty, until you learn actual healthy boundaries, I don't think you can move beyond yourself. I don't think that you can actually do good in the world that doesn't take from you. And I'm not saying there aren't tons of people out there, myself included, my whole life, that hasn't done good in the world, but there's a cost to yourself. You know, every single time there's a cost to yourself. I follow a lot of animal rescues, and I see the work that they do and the cost and the toll on their lives, and it's beautiful work that they do. And then I look in the comment sections on their posts, and they get so much love and support, but also criticism and hate. And that right there is the biggest. I mean, I almost want to say I don't understand it. I do understand it, though. I understand that that's the time that we're in, because I'm talking about personal winds of change in my own life. But as I keep telling you, we are in a planetary shift. We are shifting from a dark ruled state to a light ruled state. My wrist is much better today. And we are seeing the dark rising, being pulled up out of the ground to be cleared away. And sadly, a lot of people are being encapsulated by that darkness right now. But we pray for them. We trust. We continue to put out positivity and light. And, you know, in this next season that's coming after the end of February here, when we really start to clear out the darkness, I think we're going to see a lot of that dissipate. I do think a lot of people are really going to struggle in that, because I think that they've married their identities to something that isn't going to be in this next chapter. And that's going to be very hard. And I've told my close friends and I, when we sit and we talk about this, it's like we're trying to prepare ourselves to be as open as possible to the people in our own lives that are going to need extra support this year as things change rapidly to more light, which is ultimately going to be a good and beautiful thing. But the process can be very painful and difficult. And, you know, I think I've spent the last 5 years shoring up and learning how to put down proper boundaries and learning self-love and practicing my skill of compassion. And, you know, it's like warriors. You know, we've been preparing for this next phase for years now, and I welcome it. I think it will be beautiful, but I do understand that it will be painful and difficult for a lot of people. I try to look past that phase. You know, it's like in doing animal rescue work, because I've done a lot of animal rescue work. You save as many as you can, and you pray for the ones that you can't. Boy, I got morbid and deep. I'm really sorry. I truly do believe that it's a beautiful, beautiful phase coming up. I think that we're going to be in a bit of a tumultuous phase between now and 2030, when a lot of this clearing is going on. But you know, if you've got light in your heart and love in your heart, and you've learned how to set proper boundaries, then you're going to be just fine. You're going to see the world get more and more beautiful from here. I am absolutely looking forward to it, but I am questioning, is part of my part in this to be a presence of positivity online on YouTube? And, you know, I do prefer to keep everything private, and once I get on here, I don't. I share everything with you guys. I can't help myself, you know, and I know that, and that is one of the, you know, the vulnerabilities that I have to accept and face. And but if it's for the betterment of people, if it truly brings light to this world, if it truly, I know that you can't actually save another person. It's independent choices. We save ourselves, but I can be a life preserver. I can throw out life preservers. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense or not. I know what I mean. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. And I will see you over the weekend. I'm going to try to keep the weekend chats fairly short. I think people are busy on the weekend anyway. So, you know, I'm going to just kind of check in with you the next couple of days. My sister, like I said, has a new car issue. She'll be taking that to the car repair place tomorrow. Hold good thoughts for us. I'm hoping it's just a fluid issue. Her car is overheating, so we're hoping it's just a fluid issue. Anyway, we'll see where that goes. And if you care to hold some thoughts for me as I ponder this 6-month grind idea and doing the right thing, again, in alignment with my own soul, with that which I know is God, and with what I know is going on in the shift. Is this the part I'm meant to play? And I will probably talk about this more later, maybe next week, as I work through it, because I have a lot of thoughts on this subject. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to wish you a very blessed weekend. May you be well. May you be loved. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying to the end. You have my gratitude.